So in 1874, Dr. Fordyce Messer moved into this house here in Helensburgh. And there's a couple of demons that he erected on the roof, which apparently he erected just to specifically annoy the rector of the church here, All Saints. Yeah, so I'll put a couple of pictures of the demons in, but that was the house that Dr. Messer lived in, and he employed a coachman with a coach and horse to drive him to see his various patients around Helensburgh. And if I just turn around here, you'll see we're just close to the sea there. In fact, if I just so I'm just on my bike here, if I just ride down, we'll see just how close we are. That's the house just there, and then there's the seafront. So yeah, anyway, Dr. Fordyce Messer, he very popular doctor, and anyway, he was at home one day and got a call, excuse the wind, to go over to Rosneath there, just on the peninsula, to see a patient. So dutifully one night he got into the coach, and the coachman drove him up to the spit at Rue, or Rue Point as it's called, and Dr. Messer caught the ferry across. Here we are on the just on the road to Rue Point here. You've probably seen me metal detecting along here many a times. This is where I cut my finger, but yeah, this is the road that the coachman would have taken Dr. Fordyce to the ferry at the end here. So yeah, so the coachman brought Dr. Fordyce to this point here. This is the actual ferry terminal, and the ferry would have just gone straight across the water to the other side. There's the remains of a pier where the ferry would have docked at the other side. You can't see it on this camera, but yeah, so the coachman brought Dr. Fordyce here and dropped him off, and Dr. Fordyce said to the coachman, he said he wanted to meet him back here at around about 10:30 at night, which the coachman agreed, and the coachman actually took himself back to the Rue Inn, the public house just on the front there, and this is the Rue Inn just here. And by all accounts the coachman had one drink, and and duly returned at 10:30 for the doctor's return to here at the spit. Now, the strange thing that was noticed from the other side, there was a policeman and the ferryman were at the other side over in Rosneath there, and they both say that they both saw the lights of the coach just milling around here on the spit, or what they presumed was the spit, which is this section of land here that at high tide gets swallowed up. So the policeman and the ferryman noticed the lights, and then they noticed that the lights went out, and they both presumed that the coachman had decided to go home. When the doctor arrived at the ferry in Rosneath, the policeman and the ferryman both told him that they believed that the coachman had driven home. So they duly, the doctor caught the ferry back across here to Rue, and promptly walked home into Helensburgh. And the search began for the coachman and the horse and the coach. And they spent all the next day searching and searching and searching. And they only found a couple of pieces of tack, and a few days later a part of the coachman's seat was found around the peninsula there at Greenock, actually at Gourock I think it was. A piece of it had, a seat had washed up there, a coach seat. Now what they think happened that night is that the coachman returned from the ruin, and he drove all the way along here, and he actually drove out onto the spit, just kind of like it is now. Maybe the tide was a little bit lower at the time, but he drove out here, and they think what happened is that the coachman, apparently it was a cold night, and they think the coachman decided to climb inside the coach to shield himself from the cold, just to get a little bit of warmth, and in effect left the horse to go about his merry business. And in effect, what they believe happened is the horse just wandered around gently for a short while, but then they think that the horse maybe got a little bit spooked because the tide came in, and as he was going round, these banks here back in the day were quite steep, and they believe that the horse took a turn, and the coach, with the steepness of the bank and the weight of the coach, dragged backwards into the sea, dragging the coachman inside the cabin and the horse to a somewhat watery grave. And like I say, they dragged all around both the Gairloch here and the side towards the sea, but with all the dragging they found nothing. So yeah, so that's that's one of the possible connections of the carriage number that I found here metal detecting. Quite a dark story, and can't have been a pleasant way for a horse and man to end their days, but yeah, there you go. That's the ruin where the coachman had just the one drink by all accounts.